You've been pushing for more information from police.
Yeah, Elle, today I reached out to SPD. I said, hey, you got any information on an update, maybe perhaps on that possible third suspect? All they told me in response was that this was still an active and ongoing investigation, nothing more. Meanwhile, as we speak to people who lived through that night, they say that what happened really still hangs heavy on their mind.
I mean, we were having a good time.
What should have been a picture-perfect day for Ava Hendricks and her kids.
But next thing you know, we just hear shots.
Is now a dark memory she won't forget.
And we started running the opposite direction, and we ran as fast as we could. And obviously I'm not that fast, so I just told my kids, you know, run. And my daughter, she was like refusing to leave my side.
1 month since 3 people were killed at that Seattle Center shooting.
You've been shot with a gun?
I've been shot with a firearm.
Questions still linger about a possible third suspect still on the run.
I think we're very close in that finding that suspect and taking that suspect into custody.
That was almost a month ago. This week, police refused to provide any details when we asked them for updates.
Fight of Seattle is one of those times where we're going to be looking into, and it's going to be an inflection point.
Councilmember Bob Kettle has said cameras would have helped. Police said none were near where it happened. An independent review will look at response and emergency communications, like why it took so long to get information out. Shots were fired around 6 p.m. Leaders didn't hold a public safety briefing until almost 5 hours later.
This is an investigation of SPD and the mayor and her administration from the start.
In the meantime, the violence has stuck with survivors.
Every little sound still kind of scares me.
For Hendricks especially, 2 weeks after the bite of Seattle, her neighbor was killed in a drive-by just outside her home.
Like, I feel helpless, and I think that they obviously need more cameras out. Like, we have to have some sense of security, and people are afraid to talk. If you know who it is, say something, because it could be you next.
If you knew anything about what happened that night, let Seattle police know. Meanwhile, here on Kiro7, coming up at 6, we'll break down what the timeline will look like for when that independent review into the city's response, you can expect it to be finalized. Live in Seattle, Madeline Ottley, Kiro7 News.
Emotions high and so are frustrations. Madeline, thank you.
Designated lane on Denny Way, but what about the tens of thousands of cars now left with only a single lane to drive in? We're live on the roads checking in on your drive times. Denny Way drivers are being squeezed down to one usable traffic lane tonight. Thank you for joining us at 7. I'm Gary Walker.
I'm Monique Minglov, and that's because a new bus lane has taken up a long stretch of the road through the heart of Seattle. Kiro7's Ranji Sinha is in the live drive on Denny right now. So, Ranji, the afternoon rush, it's over. What is Denny like right now?
Well, Monique, we've actually been driving on Denny Way for the last 2 hours, and maybe around 5 was when we were seeing a lot of the traffic. But if you take a look right now, we can show you outside the dedicated bus lane to our right, marked in red. And then as we're in the only lane of traffic now that other drivers can use, we're making our way through. So the bottom line, the mayor promised to make this happen, bringing a dedicated bus lane to this road. And drivers, now they're just going to have to deal with it all. Mayor Katie Wilson rolled out the red carpet for buses on Denny Way, changing an entire lane to buses only. It all kicked off Monday along with new traffic flow.
Hopefully reduce any kind of congestion between buses and traffic.
I need someone with the window down. I didn't play in traffic too much trying to track down drivers, but I did raise my voice. How you feeling about the bus lane? Some thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up? Some drivers also raised their voices while stuck in traffic.
It's really bad. I drive through here every day, and it's just like, you know, I gotta stand all the way back there for a while.
So actually, by having cars kind of stay in one lane, we find that actually creates more flow for people.
Seattle city officials, including the mayor, have insisted that the bus lane will create less traffic, not more. In September, SDOT will also put money towards bus trips on Route 8, which uses Denny, all from the Seattle Transit Measure, which expires in early 2027. Voters will have a say in November on whether to approve the 0.3 sales tax for 10 years to improve transit service. So traffic on Denny could be a campaign issue. Drivers like Antonio don't sound like they would vote for it.
It really sucks. It creates more traffic. We already have traffic with 2 lanes.
Commuters like Daniel Top are taking a different perspective. He knows Route 8 can be late often, so he plans for it.
I know when I need to leave a little extra time.
But he says Denny's dedicated bus lane will help 7,000 riders that use the route daily.
Peace of mind in seeing the city kind of moving towards a more transit-centric future.
Now, the 2026 Seattle Transit Measure seeks to fund about 275,000 bus trips in Seattle each year. That's nearly 100,000 more trips than today's averages. So we got to look, and we're still making our way on Denny, even with that dedicated bus lane. We're live in Seattle. Ranji Sinha, Kiro7 News.
Eric, just feet away from me in this street is where the suspect's vehicle was found.
Right when we heard sirens, and we went and looked outside the window.
Noah Moses saw police swarming a pickup truck with Oregon plates on a street outside his home in southeast Enumclaw.
They all started piling in, guns drawn, ARs out, and they started busting out riot shields and trying to slowly approach the vehicle.
He says they called to the man for half an hour, slowly approaching the truck, deploying a drone. The man inside, believed to be 36-year-old Benjamin Charles Parker, wanted by Washington County, Oregon authorities in a quintuple homicide. Sheriff Caprice Massey.
Officers with the Enumclaw Police Department found Parker's vehicle and was located deceased inside. It is believed he died by suicide.
Parker is suspected of killing 5 people whose bodies were discovered along with 4 dead pets on rural property in Forest Grove, Oregon. Records show Parker is connected to the property, but his relationship to the victims is unknown. Sergeant Josh Bryan says Enumclaw police were notified the suspect may be heading to the area. Cell phone and license plate reading cameras helped to track him here.
We checked our flock cameras, and we saw that he had hit a couple of our flock cameras last night. Nothing today, but I think 10:30 p.m. or somewhere was the last flock hit we saw.
Now, there is still much to learn in this investigation, including the identities of the 5 people killed in Oregon and the motive for the homicide. Of course, the person who could answer that last question is dead. Live in Enumclaw, Heather Wash, Kiro7 News.
Businesses tell me they're actually seeing a small bump in Canadian tourists swinging into town, but those numbers not anywhere close to where they used to be. And they're worried these tariffs might strain relations with our neighbors up north. Since opening L&L Bakery 3 years ago,
we love seeing people from all over the world that come into Canada, come here.
Laura Potter says she's noticed less Canadian foot traffic into town.
Especially when the whole tariff thing started.
She thought U.S.-Canadian relations were warming.
It felt like they were slowly coming around more.
With new tariffs against Canadian goods kicking in over the weekend.
They're our allies, so it is sad to see that.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada will match the taxes dollar for dollar.
There are a lot of other businesses that depend more on the Canadian tourist.
Not just in Blaine, but among businesses across Whatcom County. That's according to this survey put together by the Bellingham Regional Chamber of Commerce and Border Policy Research Institute. Responses were collected between March through May of this year, leading to bleak results, with the retail and the food and beverage industries hit the hardest by fewer Canadian visitors.
This year, particularly, is terrible.
David Junn runs the Motel International, which he says has seen a big drop in Canadian visitors since a year ago. And now, with news of new tariffs,
I'm kind of concerned how long will it take, their mind change.
These tariffs tax 5% of what Canada ships here to the U.S. And Prime Minister Mark Carney says the retaliatory tariffs against our goods starts on September 8th. Reporting in Blaine, Nia Bliss, Kiro7 News.